a simple act. It's such a simple thing with such profound consequences.
TreeFolks was founded in the winter solstice of 1988, which is when the idea was first germinated.
We were all out at a friend's house out in the country. We had a bonfire, and
The destruction of the rainforest was very much in the news. A discussion just got started about tree loss in general.
We thought, well, don't know what we can do in the Amazon, don't know what we can do to fix that, but we can plant trees right here in Austin, Texas.
and so we decided, well, let's plant trees.
To get started, we like the idea of a ripple effect, kind of rippling out, and so we decided we're going to plant our first tree in our own yard.
And the next time we got together, we said, well, that's good, but we're going to have help if we're going to make any difference. So we just started roping our friends in to plant trees.
And then after that, we plant a tree in our neighborhood, like at a local school or park.
And then from there, we branched out.
I mean, somehow the whole thing just took off from there.
And then we would get together and plant trees in the community.
From the beginning, I loved the simplicity of the idea.
Public enthusiasm was really great. We got press off of it. We attracted dozens and dozens of volunteers, and a lot of those ended up joining the organization.
And that's how we started planting trees, by just starting small and spreading out, planting trees in the community.
Before we knew it, we had a good little group going, and it was just so gratifying to see that. But we weren't quite tree folks at that point.
We were over at my place, and
Ken said, we need a name for our group.
we were all puzzling, came up with all these different names, and man, didn't like any of them. And
Some names were tossed out, and I threw out the name TreeFolks.
just, of course, it's perfect. It's trees and folks. It was so exciting in those days. We were growing like crazy, and more people were getting interested.
And it just started from there and kept growing.
Eventually, that led to the city and TreeFolks combining to do our street plantings.
And we planted 150 trees from I-35 down to Manchaca.
It's the first time that I realized that other people were gathering to the cause and accepting the same idea and goals that we had.
TreeFolks kind of sustained those operations for quite a while, and it was in 2011 when the Bastrop wildfires hit. TreeFolks was thrust into a period of growth. We knew that the organization was really good at mobilizing community members to get involved. It was an obvious choice to tap TreeFolks to help with the reforestation after the Bastrop wildfires. The second disaster that also elevated our work beyond just the city center was the Blanco floods. So it seemed like a natural fit for TreeFolks. But what was also needed was some education and that community engagement to really help with the healing process. And so that community building aspect has been a core part of our work all throughout the life of the organization.
TreeFolks is trees and folks, empowering Central Texas to build community through the planting and caring for trees.
It's what helps replant the urban canopy, and we've planted over 3 million trees since the existence.
And I think over the years, we've really stayed true to our mission of strengthening community by planting and caring for trees.
At Volunteer Days, it's so great to see a wide variety of people, but it is so much fun to see families engaging, parents leading their kids, teaching them something new, kids bringing far more energy than anyone else to the event, and just everybody full of smiles and enjoying planting trees together.
The work is actually done through planting of seedlings, planting of trees, and tree giveaways.
As we now see what TreeFolks has accomplished, almost 3 million trees, it's just incredible.
TreeFolks has been functioning as a really effective community-based organization for a long time.
But TreeFolks has been limited by the amount of trees that they can actually get from outside sources.
Now that we see the need expand, and now that we see what's possible with growing our own trees, expanding our tree planting efforts, giving away more trees to residents.
TreeFolks has now come along this year starting a nursery, and this is a major tipping point or inflection point for TreeFolks to go from being reliant on others.
And so this is a way that we can continue our mission of being stewards of Central Texas and that urban tree canopy.
When you plant a tree or donate for trees to be planted, you're giving a beautiful, useful, valuable gift to future generations.
It's looking way beyond yourself. It's looking way down the road, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years down the road. I think when people become aware of that, I think it adds a lot of meaning to their contribution.
You know, to go back and look at trees that we planted 30 years ago, and there are now big trees.
For a kid, it's especially cool because they can go back and see it year after year, and they can see that tree grow, and they have a lot of years ahead of them. They can see those trees get huge.
It's just the physical representation, of the success of the organization has a big impact.
And there is so much excitement and enthusiasm and just real fulfillment from being a part of that.
Trees give us so much. They give us the air we breathe, they create habitats, they give us shade, they cut energy costs, they help prevent flooding. They're the jack of all trades.
Just a simple act. It's such a simple thing with such profound consequences. But really, it's the volunteers, it's the donors. TreeFolks can't do all this by themselves.
So anyone can donate a few dollars, and it's going to help a lot.
A 100 years from now, I hope the biggest impact from TreeFolks is going to be trees everywhere.